Okay, picture this. You're grabbing a can of Coke at the store. Simple, right? But what's the real cost? Like the real environmental cost of that aluminum and that sugary fizz? Probably more than you think. And that's where this whole carbon accounting thing comes in. We're going to explore how it could even impact your work, as an IT professional, especially with your background in GIS and that interest you have in recycling.
It's fascinating how like all these seemingly unconnected things are like converging.
Yeah.
Today we're deep diving into carbon accounting and something called GHG inventories. You shared some really interesting materials with me, excerpts from ISO standards, info about a workshop in Malaysia, and even some stuff on global corporate reporting.
Yeah. I've been meaning to look into this whole carbon accounting thing. It seems like everyone's talking about it.
It's definitely gaining traction and for good reason. Let's start with the basics though.
Yeah.
What exactly are greenhouse gases?
Yeah, what are they?
The ISO 1464 Back 1 standard gives us a clear definition, and it's broader than you might think.
Wait, so there are other greenhouse gases besides CO2?
Oh yeah, there are. Methane, nitrous oxide, even things like hydrofluorocarbons, the ones they use in refrigerants. The standard, it highlights that these gases, both natural and human-made, they impact the Earth's temperature, and understanding them is the foundation of carbon accounting.
Okay, so it's not just about tracking how much CO2 a company emits, I guess.
It's about the bigger picture, understanding the total impact of these different gases and their sources.
Yeah.
It's about creating a system for tracking, measuring, and ultimately reducing environmental impact.
Got it. So how does this ISO 146.4 help with all of that? The materials mentioned a whole family of standards, not just one.
Right, right. So ISO 14064 2 and X3, those cover project level accounting and verification. These are especially relevant for like consultants and specialists who help companies navigate these complexities.
Oh, wow. So there are actual career paths emerging around this. That's really cool. But why are European countries so invested in this? I noticed a bunch of them listed in the standard.
Well, it reflects a global trend, really, where governments are recognizing the importance of standardized approaches to carbon accounting. You know, they want to ensure accuracy and consistency in how companies report their emissions.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about this GHG protocol and the IPCC? I saw those mentioned too. Are they related to these ISO standards at all?
They're key players in the field, but they play different roles. The GHG protocol, that was developed by the World Resources Institute. It provides a widely recognized framework for accounting and reporting emissions. It helps companies figure out, what to measure and how to report it.
Okay, that's starting to make a little more sense. And the IPCC, what about them?
The IPCC is the leading international body that assesses climate change science. They provide that scientific foundation for understanding the issue, which then informs policy decisions and initiatives like carbon accounting.
Okay, so it's all connected. Like the science informs the frameworks.
Yeah.
Which then guide businesses on how to measure and report their impact.
Right.
Got it.
Exactly. And speaking of putting this into practice, let's talk about Malaysia. They're taking carbon accounting pretty seriously.
Yeah. The materials mention that Bursa Malaysia, their stock exchange, is mandating GHG reporting for publicly listed companies. That's a pretty big deal.
Oh, absolutely. It means companies will need professionals who can help them, understand, measure, and report their emissions. And that's where this upcoming workshop in Kuala Lumpur comes in. It seems like tailor-made for someone like you.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this workshop.
Well, it's all about providing practical skills and knowledge for those looking to specialize in carbon accounting. And get this, they're even offering a discount if you sign up early.
Oh, sweet. What exactly will what will they be covering?
Well, from what I've gathered, the workshop takes a hands-on approach, focusing on the ISO 14064 standard.
Yeah.
And how to apply it in real-world scenarios. They'll cover everything from understanding the different types of emissions to creating a GHG inventory and report.
Hold on. Did you say different types of emissions? I thought it was just about measuring CO2.
It's more nuanced than that. They categorize emissions based on their origin. There are Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emissions.
Okay. Break that down for me. I'm not super familiar with those terms.
Okay, think of it this way. Scope 1 emissions, those are direct emissions from sources a company owns or controls, like fuel that they burn on site.
So, like, if a software company has its own data centers, the the emissions from the servers would fall under Scope 1.
Exactly. Now, Scope 2 emissions, those are a bit more indirect. They're emissions from purchased energy, like electricity.
Yeah.
So for that same software company, the electricity they buy to power those servers, that would be Scope 2.
Okay, I'm starting to see the difference. What about Scope 3? The materials made it sound pretty broad.
It is. Scope 3 encompasses all other indirect emissions that occur in a company's value chain. This includes everything from purchased goods and services to employee commuting and even business travel.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot to consider. It seems like Scope 3 would be the most challenging to measure and manage.
It definitely can be,
Yeah.
but it's also where a lot of companies have, significant opportunities to reduce their impact.
Okay, this is all starting to click. So this workshop will teach people how to like identify and calculate all these different types of emissions.
That's the idea. They'll even dive into the specifics of creating a GHG inventory and report, which is where your GIS experience could like really come in handy.
Oh yeah. How so?
Imagine using GIS to like visually map out the emission sources within a company's operations. You could pinpoint areas for improvement, track progress over time, and even create like interactive dashboards to help companies understand their environmental footprint.
That's actually really cool. I never thought my GIS skills could be, applied to something like this. It's like turning data into a powerful tool for sustainability.
Exactly. And that's just one example. There are so many ways that your IT expertise can intersect with this field.
This is all starting to sound less like a career change and more like a calling.
Well, it could be both. And this workshop seems like the perfect starting point to explore those possibilities.
Okay, I'm definitely leaning towards signing up for this. But what about the career path? Like what does it look like for someone like me who's, interested in making this sustainability pivot?
The workshop presents a pretty clear path for those interested in specializing in GHG reporting and verification. They position it as a stepping stone to becoming an ISO 14064 GHG consultant.
Interesting. So what exactly does an ISO 14064 GHG consultant do?
Well, they help organizations calculate their carbon footprint, identify those key emission sources we talked about, and advise on strategies to reduce their environmental impact.
That sounds right up my alley. Using my tech skills to analyze data and come up with like creative solutions for reducing emissions. I like the sound of that.
But remember, it takes time and experience to become truly proficient in any field. The workshop organizers, they recognize this, and it seems they have built-in ways for attendees to gain practical experience, even if they don't currently have clients who need GHG services.
Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, they actively seek out GHG projects and aim to involve, workshop participants. It's like a built-in mentorship program where you get to apply your newly acquired knowledge under the guidance of experienced consultants.
That's amazing. So even if you're like starting from scratch, you can still get your foot in the door and gain like real world experience through these projects.
Exactly. And they're also open to collaborating with participants who already have clients,
Mhm.
leveraging their combined expertise to service those clients while the participant gains, invaluable practical experience.
Okay, that's brilliant. So it's a win-win. Like clients get top-notch service from a collaboration of experts and participants get to like build their portfolio and gain practical skills. It's a great way to hit the ground running after the workshop.
And this is just the beginning. The materials also mention the next step on this career path, becoming an ISO 14064 lead GHG verifier.
Ah, yes, the next level. So what exactly does a lead GHG verifier do?
Well, they play a crucial role in ensuring the integrity of corporate sustainability efforts.
Hmm.
Essentially, they independently verify the accuracy of companies' emissions reports and make sure they meet international standards.
So they're like sustainability detectives, making sure companies are playing by the rules and accurately reporting their environmental impact.
Yeah, it's a vital role, ensuring
Mm-hmm.
ensuring transparency and accountability in the fight against climate change.
That sounds like a pretty high stakes job, but how do you go from consultant to verifier?
It's all about gaining experience, completing further training, And working alongside, those experienced consultants. The materials mentioned that you would need to complete 2-3 GHG projects as a consultant to develop the practical expertise required for the lead verifier role. It's like leveling up your skills in a video game before taking on the boss.
Love the analogy. Okay, so this workshop could be my first step towards a whole new career in sustainability. But what about those ISO standards? Specifically, ISO 1P065. The materials mention something about Malaysia still developing their own version.
Right. Well, while Malaysia is moving towards aligning with international standards, their local framework is still under development.
So what does that mean for someone attending this workshop? Is it still relevant if the Malaysian standard isn't finalized yet?
It's actually an advantage. By understanding the international standards now, you'll be ahead of the game when the Malaysian version is implemented. You know, as companies scramble to comply with the new regulations, they'll need guidance from professionals who are already familiar with the requirements.
It's like having a secret weapon,
Yeah.
being one step ahead of the competition.
Exactly. And
Yep.
and becoming a lead GHG verifier isn't necessarily the final destination either. This pathway can also lead to leadership roles, like a manager for sustainability.
Wow. So it's not just about, individual expertise. It's about guiding entire organizations towards a more sustainable future. That's a pretty powerful thought.
It's about becoming a sustainability champion,
Yes.
driving change from within, and leading organizations towards a path of responsible environmental stewardship.
Okay. I'm definitely feeling inspired. But I do have one concern with all this talk about standards and careers. Is there a risk of losing sight of the human side of sustainability?
Mhm.
The social impact, community relations, ethical sourcing of materials, all those things we discussed earlier.
That's a valid concern, and it's something the workshop organizers seem to address directly. They highlight the example of the palm oil industry, which
Mhm.
faces numerous sustainability challenges, particularly around deforestation and habitat loss.
Right, right. Palm oil is everywhere, but it also has a bit of a controversial reputation.
Exactly. And while industry-specific standards are important for promoting sustainable practices, the workshop emphasizes that integrating frameworks like the GRI standards or the GHG protocol can enhance reporting transparency and help meet specific ESG or regulatory requirements.
So it's about going beyond just, meeting the bare minimum. It's about striving for a higher level of accountability and ethical practices.
Precisely. And by aligning with those broader frameworks, companies can demonstrate their commitment to sustainability in a more holistic and credible way.
It's like saying we're not just ticking boxes here. We're genuinely invested in making a positive impact on the planet and the communities we operate in.
Exactly. So this workshop isn't just about teaching technical skills. It's about fostering a mindset of responsibility and ethical leadership.
Okay, this is all starting to sound less like a career change and more like a calling. But what about the practicalities? They did mention some pretty attractive salaries for lead GHG verifiers, right?
They did, and those figures reflect the growing demand for these specialized skills. But beyond the financial incentives, there are other key benefits to attending this workshop.
Like what makes it stand out from other training programs?
Well, they emphasize that the workshop is HRDC claimable, which means your employer might be able to cover the cost. That's a big plus.
That's huge. It removes a significant financial barrier, and it shows that the Malaysian government is serious about supporting the development of sustainability professionals.
Absolutely. They also highlight the workshop's focus on practical skills and knowledge application,
Yeah.
ensuring that attendees can immediately put what they learn into practice. And it's not just about the content of the workshop itself. It's also about the connections and networking opportunities it provides.
Ah, yes, the power of community. It's always valuable to connect with like-minded individuals, share experiences, and learn from each other's journeys.
Exactly. Being part of a community can provide ongoing support and mentorship, which is crucial for navigating the complexities of this emerging field. The workshop facilitators seem to emphasize the importance of ongoing learning and development. So it's not like you get your certificate and then you're on your own. They provide resources and support to help you stay ahead of the curve in this rapidly evolving field.
It's like a launch pad, not just for your career, but for your entire journey into the world of sustainability.
Precisely. And they even mentioned group discounts. So maybe you could even reach out to some colleagues and sign up together.
That's a good idea. Okay, we've covered the content, the career path, the benefits of attending, but what about the cost? They mentioned a special rate for preview participants, right?
Right. So the standard fee is RM 5,250, but if you register before December 31st, 2024, it's RM 4,800.
Okay, that's not bad at all, especially considering the potential ROI, both in terms of, career advancement and personal fulfillment.
Indeed. It seems like this workshop ticks all the boxes.
Hmm.
Practical skills, industry connections, and a clear pathway to a fulfilling career in a field that's making a real difference.
Okay, I'm definitely starting to see myself in this field. But before we get like too carried away, let's dive into one last aspect that really caught my attention, the integration of IT and GIS into sustainability. We've talked about using GIS to map emission sources. What are some other ways that my tech skills could be applied?
The materials highlight a range of possibilities. Your GIS expertise could be invaluable for assessing land use changes related to mining operations, tracking deforestation, and monitoring the impact of those activities on biodiversity.
So it's like becoming an environmental detective, using data to uncover like hidden impacts and inform responsible decision making.
Precisely. And imagine combining your GIS skills with drone technology.
Ooh, drones. Now we're talking. What could you do with those?
Drones could be used to collect high-resolution imagery of mining sites,
Yeah.
enabling more accurate assessments of land disturbance, erosion, and even the effectiveness of reclamation efforts. It's not just about analyzing existing data. It's about using technology to gather new data and gain a more comprehensive understanding of environmental impacts.
So we could be talking about using drones to literally see the impact of mining activities in real time. That's incredible.
Yeah. Exactly. And remember those ethical considerations we discussed regarding sorting minerals for a low carbon economy.
Mm.
The challenge of ensuring that those essential minerals are mined responsibly and
Yeah.
ethically.
Yes. Making sure those electric car batteries and wind turbines are built with materials that haven't contributed to conflict or human rights
Well,
abuses.
this is where your tech expertise could really shine.
Mhm.
Imagine developing software solutions that track the origins of those minerals,
Mhm.
promoting transparency and accountability throughout the supply chain.
Like creating a digital trail, right? Tracing each mineral from its source to its final use,
Mhm.
ensuring it meets ethical and sustainability standards along the way.
Precisely. Blockchain technology could play a role here too, providing a tamper-proof system for recording and verifying transactions.
It's like building a system of trust and accountability, ensuring that the transition to a low carbon economy doesn't come at the expense of human rights and environmental protection. That's really powerful.
And these are just a few examples. The potential applications of IT and GIS in sustainability are vast and constantly evolving.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that. It's exciting to think that my existing skills could be repurposed and applied in such a meaningful way. But what about the global landscape? We talked about the GRI standards and their international relevance. How does this Malaysian workshop connect to those broader trends?
Well, the workshop materials explicitly state that the skills and knowledge acquired, they can be applied globally. The ISO standards, the GRI framework, the principles of carbon accounting, these are all universally relevant.
So even though the workshop is focused on Malaysia, the skills and knowledge are transferable to other countries and even international organizations.
Absolutely. And they specifically mention SGS, a Swiss company that's a global leader in verification and certification.
Right, right. SGS, they're like the gold standard for sustainability verification, aren't they? If you're serious about sustainability, you want to be working with them.
They're highly respected in the field, operating
Wow.
in numerous countries and across various industries.
So imagine this. Imagine this. You attend this workshop, gain practical experience, level up to become a lead GHG verifier, and then bam, you're working with an organization like SGS, contributing to global sustainability
Yeah,
efforts.
it's a testament to the global nature of this field.
Hmm.
Sustainability knows no borders.
That's really inspiring. Okay, before we move on, I have one more question about something mentioned in the materials. Conflict minerals. Can you remind me what those are and how they tie into the bigger picture?
Conflict minerals. Those are minerals that are mined in conditions of armed conflict and human rights abuses.
Yeah.
Usually in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the profits from these minerals often fund armed groups and perpetuate violence.
It's a reminder that the things we buy, the technology we use, they can have unintended consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the demand for these minerals is only increasing with the rise of electric vehicles and renewable energy technologies. It's
Yeah.
it's crucial to ensure that they're sourced ethically and sustainably.
So where do my tech skills fit into all of this?
Imagine developing software solutions that track the origins of these minerals, promoting transparency and accountability throughout the supply chain. Blockchain could be really useful here, creating a tamper-proof record of transactions.
So using tech to shed light on opaque supply chains and expose unethical practices. That's something I could get behind.
And your GIS expertise could also help map conflict zones and identify areas where mining is most likely to contribute to conflict and human rights abuses.
It's about using data and technology to empower stakeholders
Yeah.
from governments and NGOs to businesses and consumers to make more responsible decisions and contribute to a more peaceful and sustainable future.
That's a powerful vision,
Yeah.
and it highlights the immense potential of your skills to make a positive impact on the world. But for now, let's shift gears a bit. We've covered a lot of ground, from the basics of carbon accounting to potential career paths and even the role of technology in promoting sustainability.
Yeah, it's been a lot to process, but in a good way. I feel like my eyes are being opened to a whole new world of possibilities.
Before we dive into the specifics of the Malaysian workshop and how you could benefit from it, let's take a step back and review what we've learned so far. We've been talking about big picture concepts, but
Oh,
how does all of this relate to your work, as an IT professional?
okay, that's a good point. I'm ready to get a bit more specific.
Let's start with those ISO standards, particularly ISO 14064. How could that standard be used to develop a system for tracking emissions from a specific software application?
Hmm, that's an interesting question. Let me think. Well, if we're talking about a specific software application, we could use ISO 10064 to track the energy consumption of the
Mm.
servers, right? The servers running the application.
That's a great start. You could even like break it down further and measure the energy consumption of different modules or features within the application.
Oh, I see. So you could identify which parts of the software are the most energy intensive, and then focus on optimizing those areas. It's like running a profiler on your code, but instead of looking for performance bottlenecks, you're looking for energy hogs.
Exactly. And you could use that data to make informed decisions about software design and development. Prioritizing energy efficiency from the outset.
So instead of just thinking about how to make the software run faster, we're also thinking about how to make it run greener. I like it.
It's about shifting our mindset as IT professionals. We have a huge opportunity to contribute to a more sustainable future, and it starts with recognizing the impact of our work.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all of this ties together. So what about the GRI standards? How do they apply to the work of an IT professional?
Remember that the GRI standards, those provide a broader framework for sustainability reporting, covering environmental, social, and governance issues. For an IT professional, this could mean thinking about the ethical implications of the data you collect and manage.
Interesting. Can you give me a specific example?
Sure. Let's say you're working on a project that involves collecting and analyzing user data. The GRI standards, those would encourage you to think about issues like data privacy, security, and transparency.
So it's not just about building the software. It's about ensuring it's designed and used in a way that respects, user rights and protects sensitive information. I hadn't really thought about it that way before.
It's about recognizing the social impact of our work and taking responsibility for the ethical implications of the technologies we create.
This is giving me a lot to think about. Okay, so we've talked about the ISO and GRI standards and how they relate to my work as an IT professional. But let's get back to that Malaysian workshop. You mentioned it covers the practical aspects of applying these standards in real world scenarios.
Absolutely. They'll delve into the details of creating a GHG inventory and report, which is essential for companies looking to comply with mandatory reporting requirements or simply track their progress towards sustainability goals.
Okay, so what exactly does that involve? What are the steps in creating a GHG inventory?
Well, it starts with defining the scope and boundaries of the inventory. This means figuring out which emission sources are included and which are excluded. Remember those scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions we talked about?
Yeah, direct emissions, indirect emissions from purchased energy, and then all those other indirect emissions from the value chain.
Right. So you need to determine which of those scopes are relevant to the company or project you're working with.
Okay, so that's step one. Define the scope. What's next?
The next step is to gather data on all the relevant emission sources within that defined scope. This could involve collecting information on energy consumption, fuel use, transportation, waste generation, and a whole range of other activities.
That sounds like a lot of data to manage. Where would you even begin to collect all of that information?
It can be a complex process, but there are tools and methodologies that can help. For example, many companies use software platforms that integrate with their existing systems to automate data collection and reporting.
So it's not just about manually entering numbers into spreadsheets. There's actual technology involved.
Absolutely. And this is another area where your IT skills could be incredibly
Yeah.
valuable. Imagine developing or implementing systems that streamline data collection, ensure accuracy, and generate insightful reports that help companies understand their environmental footprint.
Yeah, I'm starting to see how my existing skills could be really valuable in this field. It's not just about the science of climate change or the policies around sustainability. It's also about the technology that enables us to measure, track, and manage our impact.
Exactly. And that's why this workshop could be such a great opportunity for you. It's not just about, learning the theory. It's about gaining practical skills and understanding how to apply those skills in real world settings.
Okay, I'm convinced. I'm convinced this workshop is happening. But let's back up a bit. You mentioned that this workshop focuses on the ISO 14064 standard, but I thought there were three parts to that standard. The workshop doesn't cover all three, does it?
Yeah. You're right. While the workshop touches upon the broader ISO 14064 framework, it mainly centers around ISO 14064-1, which deals with with quantifying and reporting greenhouse gas emissions at the organizational level.
So it's geared towards helping companies understand their overall carbon footprint, but not necessarily like diving into the specifics of individual projects or verification.
Precisely. That said, the workshop acts as a strong foundation for those interested in pursuing more specialized roles, like becoming a project level consultant who works with the principles of 4C0642,
Hmm.
or a verifier who utilizes 40643.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like they're providing the foundational knowledge and then giving you pathways to specialize further down the line.
Exactly. Think of it as building your sustainability skill tree.
Okay, love that analogy. So if this workshop is focused on ISO 1406441, what exactly does that entail?
Well, what 21064-1 provides a framework for organizations to develop a GHG inventory,
Hmm.
which essentially acts like a carbon accounting system. It outlines the principles and requirements for quantifying and reporting GHG emissions,
Mhm.
establishing a baseline against which companies can measure their progress and set reduction targets.
Okay, so it's like the rule book for how to measure and report your company's emissions.
A very apt analogy, and the workshop dives into the nitty-gritty details of implementing that rule book,
Yeah.
guiding you through the process of identifying emission sources, collecting data, and calculating your company's overall carbon footprint.
So it's not just about understanding the theory. It's about acquiring the practical skills to actually like do the work.
Exactly. It's about empowering you to become a carbon accounting ninja.
Okay, I like the sound of that. But what about the specifics? What are some of the key things that attendees will learn during this workshop?
Well, they'll cover a wide range of topics, including
Hmm.
the science of climate change and its impact on the planet, different approaches and methodologies for calculating greenhouse gas emissions, how to identify and quantify emissions from various sources,
Yeah.
including energy use, transportation, and industrial processes, the ins and outs of creating a comprehensive GHG inventory and report strategies for reducing emissions and improving sustainability performance.
That sounds pretty comprehensive. But how will they make sure the information like sticks? I mean, I've been to workshops before where you learn a ton of stuff, but then you forget it all as soon as you walk out the door.
That's a valid concern, and it's something the organizers seem to address. They emphasize a hands-on approach, incorporating case studies, group exercises, and practical examples to help solidify the concepts.
So it's not just about passively listening to lectures. You're actually getting to like apply the knowledge and work through real world scenarios. I like that.
And remember those mentorship opportunities and potential project collaborations we discussed earlier. Those are also great ways to reinforce the learning and gain valuable practical experience.
Okay, so they're really going above and beyond to ensure attendees get the most out of the experience. But let's talk logistics for a second. How long is this workshop and what's the format?
It's a 3-day intensive workshop held in Kuala Lumpur. It seems to be a blend of lectures, interactive discussions, and group activities. They even have a site visit planned to give attendees a real-world perspective on how carbon accounting is being implemented.
A site visit. That's awesome. It's one thing to learn about the theory in a classroom, but it's another to see it in action at a real company. What kind of company are they visiting?
They haven't disclosed the specific company yet,
Hmm.
but they mentioned that it'll be an organization that has successfully implemented a carbon accounting system and can provide valuable insights into the challenges and opportunities of the process.
I'm really curious to see how a real company is tackling this. Okay, so three days, intensive format, a mix of learning and hands-on activities, and even a site visit. Sounds like a jam-packed but valuable experience. But let's not forget the networking aspect. You mentioned that this workshop is a great opportunity to connect with other professionals in the sustainability space.
Absolutely, it's a chance to build relationships with people who who are passionate about the same things you are. Share ideas and learn from each other's experiences. And who knows, you might even meet your future employer or business partner at this workshop.
That's a good point. It's always valuable to expand your network, especially in a field that's growing as rapidly as sustainability. But let's be realistic for a second. Not everyone attending this workshop is going to become a carbon accounting expert or land a job at SGS. What about those who are just curious about sustainability and want to learn more? Is this workshop still like relevant for them?
Absolutely. This workshop is for anyone who wants to gain a deeper understanding of carbon accounting and its implications, regardless of their current role or career aspirations.
So even if you're not planning to become a sustainability consultant, you can still benefit from the knowledge and insights gained from this workshop.
Exactly. It's about becoming a more informed and engaged citizen, equipped with the knowledge to make more sustainable choices in your personal and professional life.
Okay, I like that. It's about empowering individuals to be part of the solution, regardless of their background or career path. But let's shift gears again and talk a bit more about the career aspects. We've talked about becoming a consultant or a verifier, but what are some of the other potential career paths that this workshop could open up?
The materials highlight several other possibilities. For example, you could leverage your IT skills to develop software solutions specifically for carbon accounting and sustainability reporting.
So instead of working for a company that's trying to reduce its emissions, I could be working for a company that's helping other companies do the same. That's interesting.
Exactly, and there's a growing demand for such solutions, as companies are increasingly looking to automate their sustainability reporting processes and gain deeper insights into their environmental footprint.
Okay, so that's one option. Software development for sustainability. What else?
You could also specialize in data analytics for sustainability. This could involve analyzing large data sets of environmental data, identifying trends and patterns, and providing insights that help companies make more informed decisions about their operations.
So it's like being a data detective,
Oh,
uncovering hidden connections and helping companies understand the impact of their choices.
precisely. And your background in GIS would be a huge asset in this role, as you could use your skills to map out environmental data and create visualizations that make complex information more accessible and actionable.
Okay, I'm starting to see how my existing skills could translate into a whole range of exciting career opportunities in the sustainability space. But let's get back to the workshop itself. You mentioned they have a site visit planned. Can you give me some more details on that? What kind of company are we talking about?
They haven't disclosed the specific company yet, but they have hinted that it will be an organization that has successfully implemented a carbon accounting system and can provide valuable insights into the challenges and opportunities of the process.
I'm really curious to see how a real company is tackling this. Do they mention what industry the company is in? Is it a manufacturing company, a tech company, something else
Yep.
entirely?
They've kept that detail under wraps for now, which adds an element of surprise. However, considering Malaysia's economic landscape, it wouldn't be surprising if the company were involved in a key industry like palm oil production, manufacturing, or even tourism.
Okay, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I'm sure it will be a valuable learning experience regardless of the specific industry. Seeing how a real company is putting these concepts into practice will be really insightful.
Absolutely, it's one thing to learn about the theory,
Yeah.
but it's another to see how it's being applied in a real world setting with all its complexities and challenges.
Okay, so this workshop is sounding more and before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, the Malaysian context, we've talked about global standards and trends, but how does this workshop specifically address the sustainability challenges and opportunities in Malaysia?
That's a great question, and it's something the workshop organizers seem to emphasize. They highlight the unique context of Malaysia, which is a rapidly developing country with a diverse economy that includes industries like manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism.
Right, right. So the sustainability challenges and opportunities in Malaysia are going to be different than those in, say Europe or the United States.
Exactly, and the workshop is tailored to address those specific challenges. For example, they'll delve into issues like deforestation, biodiversity loss, and the environmental impact of the palm oil industry,
Mm.
which are all particularly relevant to Malaysia.
That's really important. It shows that they're not just providing a generic overview of sustainability. They're actually tailoring the content to the the specific needs and context of Malaysia.
Exactly. They also highlight the government's commitment to promoting sustainable development and the growing demand for sustainability professionals in Malaysia.
So it's not just about addressing the challenges. It's also about capitalizing on the opportunities. And it sounds like
Yeah.
there are plenty of those in Malaysia.
Absolutely. Malaysia is positioning itself as a leader in sustainable development in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And there's a real need for skilled professionals who can help drive this transition.
Okay, I'm definitely feeling inspired to be a part of this movement. But before we get like too carried away, let's shift gears one last time and talk about something we touched upon earlier, the potential of technology to address some of these complex sustainability challenges.
Yes. The intersection of technology and sustainability is a fascinating and rapidly evolving field.
We talked about blockchain and drones, but are there other technological innovations that could be like game changers in the sustainability space?
Absolutely. The field is constantly evolving with new technologies and approaches emerging all the time. For instance, artificial intelligence or AI holds immense potential. Imagine using AI to analyze massive data sets of environmental data, identifying patterns and trends that could help us better understand climate change and
Yeah.
its impacts.
So it's like having a super powered brain that can sift through mountains of data and uncover insights that would be impossible for humans to detect on their own.
Precisely, and AI could also be used to optimize resource management, reduce waste, and even design more sustainable products and processes. It's not just about understanding the problems. It's about using AI to develop innovative solutions and drive real change.
That's incredible. What about the Internet of Things or IoT? How could that be applied to sustainability?
Imagine a network of sensors embedded in buildings, transportation systems, and even natural environments, constantly collecting data on energy consumption, emissions, and resource use. It's like having a real-time pulse on the planet, tracking our impact and identifying areas for improvement. This data could be used to optimize systems, reduce waste, and even predict and prevent environmental problems before they occur.
That's fascinating. Are there any other technologies we haven't discussed yet that have the potential to like revolutionize the way we approach sustainability?
Certainly. One area gaining traction is the use of virtual and augmented reality, VR and AR.
Ooh, VR and AR. Those are usually associated with gaming and entertainment. How could they be used for sustainability?
Imagine using VR to create immersive experiences that transport people to rainforests, coral reefs, and other threatened ecosystems. Such experiences could foster empathy and understanding of the importance of conservation.
Yeah.
It's like bringing the Amazon rainforest into your living room, making the impact of deforestation and climate change much more tangible and personal.
That's an amazing idea. And what about AR?
AR could be used to overlay information about sustainable products and practices onto the real world, empowering consumers to make more informed choices. Imagine putting your phone at a product in the store and seeing its carbon footprint or other sustainability metrics right there on your screen.
It's like having a sustainability guide right at your fingertips, helping you navigate the complex world of eco-friendly products and services. Okay, this is all incredibly exciting. It's clear that the intersection of technology and sustainability is a rapidly evolving field with immense potential for innovation and impact.
And your skills and expertise as an IT professional, those put you at the forefront of this exciting revolution. You're in a unique position to bridge the gap between technology and sustainability,
Yeah.
using your skills to create a more sustainable future.
I'm definitely feeling inspired to explore these possibilities further. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the role of individual action in addressing these global challenges. We've talked about the technical aspects, the career opportunities, the potential of technology, but what about the human side of sustainability?
That's a crucial question, and one that often gets overlooked in the midst of all the talk about policies, technologies, and corporate responsibility.
Hmm.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of the challenges and think that our individual actions don't really matter.
I know. I've felt that way at times. What can one person really do to address a problem as big as climate change?
It's important to remember that individual choices multiplied across millions of people can have a significant impact. Our consumption habits, our transportation choices, our energy use, these all contribute to our individual environmental footprint.
So even small changes in our daily lives can add up to something significant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not about achieving perfection. It's about making progress and shifting our mindset towards a more sustainable way of living.
Okay, that's empowering. It's not about feeling guilty or overwhelmed. It's about making conscious choices and knowing that those choices, no matter how small, can contribute to a larger movement for change.
And remember, individual action isn't just about reducing our own impact. It's also about inspiring others
Yeah.
and creating a ripple effect that can spread throughout our communities and beyond.
So it's about becoming ambassadors for sustainability, sharing what we've learned and encouraging others to join the movement.
Exactly, and that's why this deep dive has been so valuable. It's not just about providing information. It's about sparking a conversation, fostering awareness, and empowering individuals to become agents of change.
Okay, I'm feeling incredibly inspired and ready to take action. But before we completely wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's revisit the provocative thought from the beginning. Remember that can of Coke and the potential to ensure it's produced sustainably. Well, after this conversation, that future doesn't seem so far-fetched anymore.
Indeed, with the knowledge we've gained, the skills you can develop, and the power of individual action, we can all contribute to creating a world where sustainability is no longer an aspiration, but a reality.
This has been an incredibly insightful conversation, and I'm excited to take the next step and explore this workshop further. But before we move on, let's zoom in on one last detail that's been lingering in the back of my mind.
What's that?
The materials mention this workshop being HRDC claimable. Can you explain what that means and how it could benefit someone who's working full time?
Absolutely. HRDC stands for the Human Resources Development Corporation in Malaysia. Being HRDC claimable means that the workshop is recognized by the government as a valuable professional development opportunity.
Yeah.
And employers can claim a portion of the training fees from the HRDC fund.
So it's like the government is incentivizing companies to invest in their employees' sustainability education.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation. Employees get to enhance their skills and knowledge. Companies get to build a more sustainable workforce,
Yeah.
and the government gets to advance its sustainability agenda.
Okay, that's a pretty sweet deal. It means that attending this workshop might not even cost me anything out of pocket, which makes it even more appealing.
It certainly removes a significant financial barrier
Yep.
and makes this opportunity more accessible to working professionals. And it highlights the Malaysian government's commitment to developing a skilled workforce in this area.
Okay, I'm sold. This workshop is happening. But before we jump ahead to the registration process, let's take a quick peek into the minds of some other potential attendees. The materials include some responses from people who are interested in this workshop.
Yes, it's a fascinating glimpse into the motivations and backgrounds of others who are drawn to this opportunity.
Let's dive into those responses and see what we can glean from them.
Okay, so looking at these responses, we've got folks from like consulting firms, tech companies, even someone from Sunway Services who works in group IT. It's a pretty diverse group. What's striking is how many identify as manager. It seems there's growing awareness of sustainability at leadership levels. Companies are recognizing the need to integrate these principles into their operations, and they're seeking individuals who can guide them.
That's encouraging. It means this isn't just a niche trend for a few eco-conscious companies. It's becoming a core part of how businesses operate.
Precisely. And look, several people have IT in their job title. You're
Yeah.
definitely not alone in seeing the potential for your skills in this field.
Yeah, it's reassuring to know there are others making this connection,
Yeah.
recognizing that tech expertise is vital for sustainability.
There's even someone who works with drone technology for data mapping. Remember our conversation about using drones to assess mining sites?
It's like that idea is already being put into practice. I'm starting to get really excited about the possibilities here.
And there's someone from Sustina Technology who specializes in climate data
Mm.
and analytics.
Mm.
Another area where your IT skills could be applied.
This is fantastic. It's a real mix of skills and perspectives, showing that sustainability is multidisciplinary. There's a place for everyone to contribute.
Absolutely. It reinforces the idea that this workshop offers a valuable chance to connect with others on this journey, share ideas, and learn from each other's experiences.
It's like a microcosm of the broader sustainability ecosystem, bringing together people from different backgrounds, united by a common goal.
And notice how several responses mention industries particularly relevant to sustainability in Malaysia.
That's right. That's right. What kind of industries are we talking about?
We've got someone from the palm oil industry, someone from the port of Tanjung Pelepis, which is a major shipping hub, and even someone who works in sewage management.
Wow. That's a diverse group of industries, but they all have significant and significant environmental impacts, right? It's great to see people from within those sectors taking an interest in sustainability.
It suggests a growing awareness within these industries of the need to address sustainability challenges
Hmm.
and a willingness to seek out the skills and knowledge to do so.
It's like they're recognizing that sustainability isn't just an external pressure, but an opportunity to innovate, improve operations, and gain a competitive advantage.
Precisely. And look at this. We've got someone who's unemployed but has experience in GIS. This workshop could be a springboard for them to re-enter the workforce with in-demand skills.
That's a great point. It highlights the potential for this workshop to open up new career pathways for those seeking a more meaningful line of work.
It's not just about individual career advancement, though. It's also about contributing to a larger movement, being part of something bigger than oneself.
Exactly. This workshop isn't just about technical skills. It's about joining a community of change makers dedicated to creating a more sustainable future.
And remember that future starts with each of us. The choices
Yeah.
we make, the actions we take, they all contribute to shaping the world we want to live in. And for you, with your unique combination of IT skills and passion for sustainability, the possibilities are truly exciting.
Okay. I'm definitely feeling that excitement. This deep dive has been eye-opening to say the least. I've gone from being vaguely aware of carbon accounting to seeing it as a potential career path, a way to use my skills to make a real difference in the world.
And remember, even if you don't end up specializing in carbon accounting, the knowledge and awareness you've gained will be invaluable no matter where your career takes you. Sustainability is no longer just a niche concern. It's becoming integral to to all aspects of business and society.
That's a great point. This isn't just about one specific job or industry. It's about a fundamental shift in how we approach our work and our lives.
Exactly, and that's what makes this workshop so relevant, not just for you, but for anyone who's curious about sustainability and wants to learn more.
So to wrap things up, for anyone listening who's feeling inspired to make a difference, we highly recommend checking out the carbon accounting and GHG inventories workshop organized by MPC. It's a fantastic opportunity to gain practical skills, connect with experts, and potentially launch a fulfilling career in this dynamic and rapidly growing field.
And even if a career change isn't on your mind right now, the knowledge and insights you gain from this workshop will equip you to make more sustainable choices in your personal and professional life. It's about becoming a more informed and engaged citizen, empowered to be part of the solution.
Beautifully said. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the basics of carbon accounting to the global implications and even the role of individual action. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling incredibly inspired and motivated to continue exploring this world.
It's been a pleasure diving into this topic with you. Remember that the future of sustainability is in our hands,
Yeah.
and with the right knowledge and a willingness to act, we can create a world that's both prosperous and sustainable for generations to come.
On that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this insightful journey. Until next time, stay curious and stay sustainable.